Y'all, let me tell you that I jumped out the window when I saw this. Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video of mine. This time I'm back with finally Song of the Crimson Nile, Season 2, Episode 6. Like the last update didn't have new episodes of Song of the Crimson Nile, but it is now and I'm so excited. Oh god, what happened last time? I think we met up with Livius and Ash zoomed into the capital after someone was killed. I think someone was murdered, but no idea why, and I have no idea why we're running away. I just know that I think we got into Eamon's mind to figure something out that Ash wanted, and now we're running away. So let's see if we get to jump into Eamon's body, but let's see. I'm so excited. Giver of life and bringer of death. So we're the giver of life and he's the bringer of death. Y'all, I'm so excited. Episode 6, the final frontier. Uh-oh. It's still the middle of the night. As footsteps sounded behind them, Eva flinched. Her first thought was that it could be Seth or Agnia, but Eva had refused to help her, so there was nothing for her to do there. If it hadn't been Seth, Eva would have probably been happy about it. With each passing day, his presence no longer made her feel uncomfortable or confused. Well, that's my mistake because I'm playing with fire, as in literally with fire. Apparently, y'all, I thought if you refuse in the first episode of season 2 to be with Livius, that he would just be like friendship kind of thing, but apparently it's not a complete refusal, apparently. And I noticed it just after I clicked a nice option. In my eyes, I would have said that as well to just a friend, but apparently in this story it was a romantic kind of option, which was also displayed on top of the display. So I was shocked. So apparently I'm playing now 3. Eamon, Seth, and Livius. God damn it. I just can't stop, y'all. And a lot of people already warned me that I was gonna be burned. And a lot of people also told me in the semi-finale of season 1 of Kali, Flame of Samsara, that Christian was gonna bite my head off after playing him, Ram, and the hot older brother Doran, Bazoo, but I am so sorry. I can't help it. Y'all, if I get the chance to play, I do, because I'm here for the drama and I know that you all love it when I do it. So welcome on board, bitches. But rather gave her a sense of security in spite of all common sense. If she had any left, of course. There goes nothing. When he's around, I don't have to worry about my safety. He'll make sure to protect his servant as long as he needs me. And he does need me. Y'all, it's just so sad that she's trying to make herself feel less antsy with being with Seth, knowing that he needs her and that's why he will look after her. That's her reason to be calm right now. Oh, don't worry, he needs me, so no matter what happens, he'll look out for me. This woman, I feel bad for her, because right now she doesn't have anything else to cling on to. She's latching onto Seth and the thoughts that he will look out for her because he still needs her. Now, the point here is, she's not trying to think about the fact what happens if he doesn't need her anymore. A new unexpected emotion rose within her, but Eva couldn't quite grasp it. Fear! What was that? Did I imagine it, or did I wish he could get here sooner? Worry? As Livius turned around and saw her as his assistant, he let out a sigh of relief. Why his assistant? You go. Give me my things and hurry to leave. Leave? Where am I supposed to go? Oh, she is so cute. She's like, bitch, where am I supposed to go? I was supposed to be by your side this entire time. Where the fuck am I supposed to go? What you told me hardly made sense. While I was packing your things and running here, I imagined all sorts of things. What's going on? Who's trying to kill you? Where are you two planning to go? Path of cunning. Oh well. Eva felt uncomfortable with how loud Hars's voice was. She snapped her fingers, drawing Hers' attention, and said, not her, saying, hello? Over here? You be talking to me now. Hey, speak quietly if you want to stay alive. Alive? Why do you think Livius asked you to bring his things here? He doesn't want to be seen in the city. It's too dangerous now. If you keep screaming, you'll get us in trouble. And yourself too. Not her grinning like that, girl. Like, this is not a laughing matter. Livius raised his hands so that both women would look at him. Like, he's like, I'm calling the shots now, bitches. Shut it. Over here. Eva's right. We don't have time to explain. I'll explain everything briefly so you won't worry, and then we'll run. Run? But where? From whom? Livius put an arm on Hers' shoulder, gently squeezing it as if trying to calm her down, and then started to recount all that had happened recently. I feel bad for her because she truly seems to care about Livius, and she doesn't feel good about just letting him go. I'm pretty sure she knows he can take care of himself, but you know that's what happens when you truly care about someone. Like, you keep on worrying about them. Hers' eyebrows furrowed as she listened to him. Eva is being hunted, and she owes a serious debt. I don't know who's trying to kill me, but I'm sure it will happen again if I don't leave. Oh, right, someone tried to kill him, and considering the fact that there was, I think it was a soldier in front of this man's house, like, watching him, or more like protecting him in a certain sense, and that attacker killed his protector, or more like bodyguard. He's like, that was meant for me. The Supreme Epistates will also start hunting for our heads if we stay in Thebes longer than necessary. Is the situation clearer now? Hers listened in silence, her eyes wide with shock. I feel bad for her. They glistened with tears, but she wiped them away and asked quietly, are you headed to Memphis? We'll see. It depends on where the healer is. What about me? Oh, I feel bad for her. Like I said, I feel bad. Like, why can't we just take her with us? Like, she will be under bad influence with that. Okay, I'm gonna be silent right now. But like, he's kind of like the second in command from Aemon. And I feel like he has this like savage side to him, but he also seems to be kind of like a simp and wimp for her. So I don't think he would actually hurt her. But we are running away from Aemon, even though we're like with him, because we are sure that he will hunt for us if he finds out that we're Sheshmu, which, like I said already so many times already, which is hypocritical because he was born by Sheshmu, which is why he has such powers. He's a hypocrite. I don't think the hunters will come to your house to question you. You're seeing one of them, aren't you? Titian has the highest rank in the squad after Aemon. Woohoo! That's why I said second in command. He won't let a shadow of suspicion fall over you, and won't let anyone mistreat you. How can you be sure? Duty comes before anything else if you're a hunter. Livius shook his head briefly, glancing at Eva, and then said, his tone evasive. I don't know. When they're in love, people become more vulnerable. But it's a simple hunter or the Supreme Epistates. Is he trying to hint at the relationship we have with Aemon, or the fact that... Is he talking about himself? Is he like, I like her, but she has her eyes on him? Let's see how long it lasts. I'm sure he'll be merciful to you. Use that to your advantage. Stay close to him. The hunters will leave Thebes sooner or later. Go to the capital with Titian. We'll meet there. All right. Hers handed him several lining bags. They held Livius clothes and some pipiri bottles and herbs. Livius hugged his assistant, someone he probably considered also his friend, and patted her on the back. Take care of yourself, dear Hers. Oh, not the tears! You'll have the feeling that there is, like, I don't know, a sibling kind of love. That's at least how I see it right now. And you too, Livius. Oh, I don't like it when people cry. It hurts me. Hers turned to Eva and took her hands in hers. Oh, her big black eyes glistening with tears. Take care of him, Eva, and don't let anyone hurt you. She's such a pure soul! Protect her! Come on, Ash, do we have another seat? Let's take her with us. Let's take her with us. She's such a pure soul. She does not deserve any of this bullshit. Especially now that she's kind of an accomplice after she knows what's going on. I will make sure of it. I'm afraid Livius will have to be the one taking care of me, bitch. I mean, it's more likely that I'll be the one hurting someone else. Ooh. I will make sure of it. I mean, a lot of people say don't make promises you can't keep, but I will protect Livius with my life. No one is touching my son. Eva squeezed her fingers in response, feeling a sudden rush of genuine affection toward hers. Thank you for your help. Honesty. Be careful. I will. Hers turned around and hurried left. Oh, I feel bad for her. Y'all, I can't stop saying it. I feel so bad for her. Livia stared after her for a little while, trying to hide his concern for his friend. Eva didn't bother him. She understood. Having loaded their belongings on the horse, they finally set off. The horse trotted through the cold sand. Livius held the reins, confidently guiding the animal toward the outskirts of Thebes. Yo. The fear. Let's leave this place and take a different road to Eastman's party. It will be safer that way. If the hunters are waiting for your mentor somewhere nearby patrolling the outskirts, they might notice us. It's too dangerous here. As you wish. Eva didn't mention that her mentor could also be hunting them down. There weren't many reasons to believe Agnia. Although everything she said matched the words of Aemon and Titian, they had discussed the fact that they had cornered Remao on those same outskirts and he was hiding somewhere around there. No. Our mentor needs to be executed. He needs to be burned at the stake. If Eva was partially his target, and he knew how much she wanted to get in touch with Eastman's soul, it would have been his best interest to try to find her there. Eluding the hunters, no, to be quite honest, I'm scared of Remao to a specific degree. I'm scared of Remao. Imagine someone you saw as your father, someone you saw as family, someone you trusted with your life actually was willing to kill you in order to save himself. Grinning in your face, making fun of your feelings, your insecurities, and the fact that you were in pain because you loved someone dear to you. God. Even his brother had to run away because this man was so out of control. And where even is he? Is he just gone for good now? Eva was sitting in the back, hugging Livius from behind. She rested her forehead against him without looking around, lost in her gloomy thoughts. She was too much more comfortable riding that way. She didn't have to keep her balance, and no one touched her from behind, as had been the case with Sid. She felt calmer and more confident. Livius was silent and didn't disturb his friend, who clearly needed a moment of peace to collect her thoughts. He knew she was having a rough time. They passed abandoned houses, sparse palm trees, and the dilapidated walls of some buildings that had once served as shelter for poor families. Oh, I love the moving backgrounds. Eastman's body was supposed to be mummified and transported to one of the ibis located on the outskirts of the city, on the border of the endless expanses, the vast desert. The desert, y'all. The vast desert. According to local laws, it was there that the body of those who had drowned were sent, as well as those of the poor, if their families managed to scrape together enough money for a modest burial. This is just so brutal. And so brutal that it already resembles reality. As Livius had mentioned, those who drowned in the Nile were buried with all care possible for poor people in honor of the god Osiris, who had drowned in local waters. Several ibis had been built for them on the outskirts, close to the poorer neighborhoods. They looked plain, but it was the best they could have hoped for. People used to live there, but even those who had nowhere else to go couldn't stand the pungent smell of corpses and oils that enveloped the entire surrounding area. Damn. Like, I don't blame them. If I walk in streets where I'm supposed to be living in and the only thing I smell is incest, I'm out. I'm out. Because y'all, incest is the kind of smell that drives you slowly mad. You're like, I need to get out of here. It stings. It literally stings. And not like it stings as in it smells bad, but it literally stings. Psychologically, it stings. You knowing that there are corpses around you everywhere, it drives you mad. That's why the locals had left a territory close to the endless expanses, and the only people who ever visited that place were the healers and the dead. The neighborhoods had fallen into despair, so it was hard to distinguish the abandoned houses from the ones still inhabited by the ritual priests, those who had dealt with bodies. Thanks to Seth's help, and the fact that Livius had asserted his right to work with Eastman's body, they knew exactly where to go and which house they needed. There was no need to waste time searching, which made their task much easier. The sooner they got to Eastman, the better it was going to be. Orion behaved differently than usual. He That's the face of someone that's not having anything. He's not having it. The dog showed no desire to explore and stayed in one place. He was walking next to the horse the entire time, never straying from Eva's side. He listened attentively to any rustle. His dark eyes pricked up, and he didn't lag behind. Oh, now I understand. Like, this man is scanning the area. Perhaps he can sense that we're feeling on edge, and that we fear that something could like come to attack us or something, and he's now scanning the area. He wants to make sure nothing is coming. Orion was clearly wary, which wasn't exactly reassuring. It was very telling that even the animal sensed trouble and tried to stay close. No, like, dogs have an amazing sense of smell. And I'm not talking about like actual smell, like stings, like sewers, like flowers. I'm talking about they can actually they have a heightened sense of empathy. Like, they can feel when their owners aren't feeling well. They kind of detect their emotions. They can feel what they're going through. They don't know what it is, but they can feel the emotion that you have. And they try to act according to that. You are scared, you are wary of your surroundings. So he's trying to make sure that you don't have to be anymore, because he cares about you, because he loves you. The weather didn't cooperate either. Seth's storm hadn't completely subsided. The restless wind was blowing sand into their hair, clothes and eyes making it hard to see. But the two travelers stubbornly continued moving forward. It's either that or dying. No, thank you. When they reached their destination, Livius jumped off the horse and helped Eva down, wrapping his arm softly around her waist. Eva leaned on his shoulders as she jumped off, and Livius helped her keep her balance. He couldn't hide his grin when he saw her narrowing her eyes at the horse. You're afraid of it? I don't know what to expect from it. If I could, I'd stay as far away from it as possible. Well, I bet it's not particularly happy to carry you either. You have that in common. Damn. The horse snorted as if confirming his words. Damn. He's like, you ungrateful little bitch. I carried you for hours, and that's how you thank me. Eva jerked to the side reflexively, and Livius laughed softly but said nothing more. Yeah, you continue laughing. He wasn't in the mood to tease Eva, although there couldn't have been a more perfect moment. This man knows how to read a room, and we stand men like that. He knows how to read a room. He's like, I could tease the hell out of you right now, but it's not the time. We need to be focused. Leaving the horse in a secluded spot, they took what they needed and carefully moved on, keeping near the buildings as much as possible. If Eva understood correctly, in the areas of Tebas that bordered the endless expanses, the hunters patrolled the very edge of the desert. There shouldn't have been any of them in the settlements near the outskirts. Still, they couldn't be too careful, since Remao might have been hiding somewhere out there, although she doubted that her mentor would do something so foolish. Eva walked behind Livius, kept to the shadow, cautiously walked ahead. I have the feeling that she gives off more vibes to someone that right now would want to be protected. And if you want to be protected by someone, you either literally hug them and you walk like next to them, like in their embrace, like they hug you, they hold you in their arms, yet you walk together side by side, or you want to be behind them. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen that, like in movies, like when attacker comes like and tries to attack a woman, like the man that wants to protect her immediately pushes her behind him. So that's kind of like the vision she's giving me because of all the anxieties she has. So Eva walked behind Livius. Just as it happened the day they first met, she didn't go anywhere first, allowing the healer to lead on. Livius didn't mind stepping forward cautiously. He was more careful and attentive than Eva, and it would have been safer for that troublemaker to stay behind his bag. Damn. Ooh, cunning. Or rather, it would have been safer for both of them. Well, damn. Are you tired? A little, but fear gives me strength. That. Let's finish this, and then we'll go to the capital. My mentor will help us deal with everything and will hide us from the epistates. Maybe even vouch for you. The healer himself? The one who serves under the pharaoh? Will he truly agree to help me? It's hard to believe. Eva couldn't believe that she was going to deal with a man of such importance. On the other hand, Aemon was also close to the pharaoh, as was Livius himself. And who was she? It was ridiculous to even compare herself. That's like her inner self-esteem. She doesn't have any. But I already said that so many times. Like, in general, I feel like I need to put this out there. It's very difficult to get self-esteem or self-confidence back once you completely lost it. But it's not impossible. It just takes time. And if you are in that moment where you're like trying to build your self-confidence and someone keeps on nagging the little self-confidence that you were capable to build up, immediately vanishes. Like, this is like you being sick. Like, if this is like a better example. You're sick and you have a sickness that would like need 3 weeks to heal. But you're like, oh, I'm feeling a little better even though I'm not completely fine. But after 1 week, I'm going back to work. You're capable to deal with it for 2 weeks and then you're sick again. And this time, you will need 3 weeks in order to kind of perk up and continue forcing yourself to be at work or going to school. Like, that's how it is. Like, if you want to completely heal, you need to completely take the time to build your self-confidence. And nothing can like disturb this flow, or all the work will have been for nothing. It's just like healing. You need to wait until you arrived at a specific point until you can say, okay, I'm willing to try. I don't know. A lot of people like need those depression pills. So I'm going to use that as an example. I'm feeling better. I feel like I could do this by myself now. And after 2 years of taking very strong medicine and slowly easing the dosage, I don't think I need them anymore. I think I'm strong enough to deal with it myself. After being 2 years in isolation, working on yourself, working on your self-confidence, work on your ideas, on your own feelings, you kind of got a good idea of what you want to do, where you want to go, and now you're like, okay, I can do this now by myself. I don't need the depression pills anymore. Thinking about Aemon made her heart sink. She wondered if he'd woken up already and shaken off the effects of the hypnotic dust. Had he read her message? Eva imagined him glowering at those hasty written lines, frowning, grumbling the papyrus and throwing it furiously aside. Are we gonna see it actually? She imagined the worst, however, Eva could hardly hope for anything more. She had just left the settlement, but deep down, she still hoped they would meet again. That hope flickered in her heart as soon as she found herself a little further away. I feel bad for her because she's so in love with him. She was afraid. She dreamt of being next to Aim and looking into his pale, gleaming eyes. But she feared the punishment that the epistates must be preparing for her betrayal. Livia saved her from her gloomy thoughts. Yes, and he's influential. If he can't help you with the hunters, he'll send you somewhere, perhaps to Macedonia. Where you're from? I don't want to leave my homeland, but sometimes you don't have a choice, babe. It's to survive. Yeah. You know you may not have a choice. They immediately went to the right Ibu. Are you close enough to him to be sure that he won't turn me in? Yes, very close. He taught me everything I know, and he raised me, providing me with everything I needed. He was like a father to me. Who are your parents? Don't you know them? Livia shook his head reluctantly. His gaze darted to the sky, a black vastness with a fine scattering of scars. They didn't want me. Wow! My mentor said he saved me from an inevitable fate, and you can guess what kind of fate that was. That's why he took me to Macedonia. Did they want to kill him? Get rid of him? Kick him out? What did they want to do? What a sad face, dear. Son, I care about your sorry ass, so I feel bad for the fact that this is what your parents thought of you, considering the fact that she cares a lot about family, like family is kind of sacred to Eva. So hearing that someone didn't want her, it kind of also could remind her of like her own situation. The only family member that truly loved her died, and the mother didn't love her and used her and sold her soul to the devil. Like, if anyone knows how painful that is, it's Eva. What are you smiling at? I'm sorry for you. I feel your pain. Period. Underline it. I'm always smiling, and the worse I feel, the broader my smile becomes. Why should I be sad if I didn't know my family at all? I'm thankful for what I have, and I have a lot. I love him! What a sunny man. That's why he needs to be protected. If the healer is so kind to you, how come he let you come to Thebes? He was the one who sent me here, actually. He said that if I conquered this disease, I would return to the capital as a hero. I would no longer be a student, but I would be able to heal and teach people myself. He sent you by yourself? Didn't he worry about you at all? You could have gotten infected. Ooh. How did the disease begin? Tell me a little about yourself, son. Do you know anything? Not much. At some point, people just started getting sick. My mentor assured me that not everyone gets sick. Those who are careful don't get infected. He told me not to eat local food and not to drink water, and not to deal with the locals except for the workers. But in return, I could have earned the pharaoh's favor, and that's worth a lot. So you didn't have any friends in the city since you couldn't spend time with anyone but those who weren't locals? I didn't. Only those I worked with. No wonder he gets close to me and the hunter so quickly. There aren't many visitors traveling to Thebes these days. All those who have a head on their shoulders stay away from Upper Egypt. Who could he get together with, laugh with? Only Hers and his clumsy apprentices. And that woman, Theono. But she came from Hermopolis. How could the healer be sure that you weren't going to get infected, even if you don't drink or eat local food? Tino got sick. I don't know. We both realized it was a risk, but the possible reward would have been worth it. Just imagine if I could discover the nature of this disease. How would I affect the world? How many more diseases could I prevent in the future? My treatise on the subject of medicine would help future generations eradicate all diseases over time. He's doing it all for the good of the people. That's Livia's priority, but his mentor showed no sympathy for his student, as it was his decision to send him here. I mean, you've learned more information about the disease in Livia's work. Your friendship has improved. I mean, there are a lot of people that say I'm allowing someone I love to make their own choices. If he's sure about what he wants to do, if this is what he truly desires, then I will not stand in the way of him and his dreams. Livius wanted this. He was like, if I can help people, then it's worth it for me. And I would get the pharaoh's favor. Like, it's a win-win. They dropped the subject. They were exhausted, and the long journey ahead weighed heavily on their minds, so they weren't in the mood for idle chatter. Me. You found the body easily. This will affect the plot. Oh, thank you. Y'all, I feel like I need to add this real quick here. I have the feeling that, like, my humor kind of dropped. Like, please let me know in the comments. Like, I have the feeling like I'm not capable to, like, joke around a lot anymore, or, like, tease, or, like, make those, like, funny and dirty commentary anymore. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just feeling insecure right now. Like, please let me know. Is it just my impression? Like, am I lacking off lately? Like, please let me know. They quickly got to the Ibu where Isman's body was. Standing in front of the plain stone building, Eva felt fear and hope at the same time. There he was, her friend, lying right there. A little more and the mystery of his death was going to be solved. Eva approached the Ibu and put her hand on the cold wall. Reverently, she ran it over the dusty, rough surface, saying to herself, Isman, my chosen brother, I'm here, very close to you. I haven't forgotten you. Livius was standing behind her, watching her with quiet sadness. Eva felt his gaze on her, his silent sympathy and support. Past the cunning, she felt ashamed of how naked and vulnerable she felt right at that moment. Always sarcastic and self-confident, Eva was instead consumed by grief. She felt utterly helpless against the onslaught of her feelings, which made her too soft and weak. She wanted to break the tension with a joke or a quip. You risk everything so that I could just stand in front of these Ibu. Imagine if the epistates were to suddenly rush down here to catch us. We would have wasted precious time on my moping and wallowing. How ridiculous. I can't get a grip on myself, foolish me. Livia's soft, beautiful voice spoke, with not even a hint of laughter in his tone. I would be glad to shield you from the hunters so that you could grieve calmly and deeply, like you're doing now. I love him. I truly love Livius. Protect this man at all costs. If this man gets hurt, I'm dumping this story. I am not joking. You do not touch Livius. I respect and understand your grief. It's not ridiculous. Isman was happy to have a friend like you. Someone who risked everything for him. I love him. He carries his heart on his sleeves. Why aren't there more people out there like that? Eva didn't answer that, pursing her lips and lowering her head. She turned to Livius, holding out her hand. Give me my things, please. My mask is there in my bag. Stretching, she immediately grimaced. The sand from the storm trapped under her clothes scratched her skin. And some clothes. I think I've got sand even in my mouth and ears, and some other places where it doesn't belong. Me! Like this even entered the most sensitive area, son. Where is, like, the water? Is there, like, some fountain here that I can use to, like, quickly splash myself with? Because if there's anything that I can tell y'all, considering the fact I always went to Italy when I was on holidays, and I would be, like, sitting at the edge of the ocean and just waiting for waves to, like, come there, and my underwear would be completely full with sand. I would hate it so much. Like, it literally just ruins the atmosphere. It ruins the beautiful moment for you. You're like, oh, I had, like, this beautiful day here. Like, let me just sit down real quick, get, like, a nice little... Let me, like, splash myself a bit with water, and then everything is fine. No, this little bitch, this little wave coming over here and, like, completely showering me with sand all over the place. I hate it. She did her grieving and now she's back to joking. And he loved it. Without saying anything, Livius did as she asked. Eva took the clothes and let down her hair to restyle it. Livius turned away, giving her time. I love it. First outfit. Ooh. I would have to go with the second one, to be quite honest. Like, this would be something I would wear. Oi. Are we seeing that hair? Oh my god, look at this. Is this actually... Hold up. Is this like... No, I think this is part of the outfit. Then that's what we're using. She is so beautiful, y'all. God damn it. First set. What exactly is this? Oh, jewelry. Okay. I don't know. Let's go with this one because I feel like it suits it because of that blue ring. Honesty. Cunning. When Eva was ready, she approached the door. The pounding of her heart sounded louder to her than the bird song before dawn and the howling of the wind after set storm. She couldn't control her nerves and the trembling of her fingers. Livius noticed her hesitation as she was looking at the door and approached her quietly. Don't be afraid, dear. Do you want me to come in with you? I'll leave when you're ready. I'm fine, really. All right, I don't doubt you. I just remembered that you're afraid of strange, dark spaces. He smiled disarmingly when Eva lifted her head and looked into his eyes. I love him. I really do. He was like, I remember the fear back then when you were holding me and wouldn't let go. Let's go in together, and then you're on your own. Eva didn't say anything. She took her friend's arm, just as she did when they had just met, and stepped inside with him. To be quite honest, they would be such a good pair. Such a good pair. Like, I'm actually serious. Once in the dark, narrow corridor, they both grimaced at the nauseating smell. Yes, even if you were to close your eyes, you'd still know where to go. It's so poignant. There aren't that many options anyway. Livius patted her on the shoulder. I won't go any further. I would only get in the way. Are you ready? Are you leaving already? That does not defeat all your good intentions. How could you say that, you impertinent girl? Son, I have to. If I don't get the chance to get on your nerves, I don't feel complete. Like, this is exactly what I do, y'all. Like, in real life. If I don't flirt with you, if I don't tease you, I don't care about you. That's how things go. I always tease and flirt with the people I love. That's what I do. That's part of my personality, y'all. Like, if I don't flirt with you, if I don't tease you, there is no real love there. Like, the people that know. There are a lot of people in my comment section that I tease. Eastman is in the next room. I'd better leave you alone with the party. I'll go, all right? Eva forced a grim smile, nodded uncertainly. This is scary, but I have to do it. Not only for Eastman, but for myself as well. To get the answer to this important question and leave behind everything that happened in Thebes. You can do this, I'm sure of it. Cunning! Eva took a deep breath and immediately grimaced. She should have known better. Livia's eyes darkened in the gloomy room, turning brown. He looked thoughtfully toward the hall with the body as if he was thinking about something. What's going on? Is everything all right? Do you want to come in there? No, I guess not. I've already seen his body. I'm just worried about you. It will hurt. You know, not many of the priests who embalm the bodies of the poor are skilled. They don't try too hard, and they use the simplest tinctures. I don't think you're ready to see what he may look like right now. What was done to him? What about the man Ramesses and I worked with during our commission? He was poor too, but he looked fine. Didn't his sister sell everything she owned to pay for a decent burial? Besides paying you, Sheshmu? Eva shrugged her shoulders. It doesn't matter what he looks like. I'm ready for anything. That's not going to stop me. Once again, Livius admired how determined she was, even when faced with the possible pain that such a difficult sight was going to cause her. Whatever Eastman looks like, I'm ready to see it. You're holding up pretty well considering you've lost your only close friend. This conversation will seriously affect your friendship. I have another close friend. It's you. Yes, I have no one left. Like the darkness and despair. Why we being like this? I have another close friend. It's you. It's always been you, son. Hearing those words, Livius froze for a moment. He was silent and motionless, looking at Eva. She stared back at him as if processing her sudden realization. You are the only one who truly stayed by my side after his death. And even before that, you were interested in my affairs and were always kind to me. She truly appreciates people, and I love that we could, use this opportunity to, make her open up. Because I did a lot of analysis already in the first season before Eastman died, and I was like that she is numb because of everything that happened, and Eastman's death gave, the final punch. She has never really been capable to heal, and she just started to, distract herself with her night occupation, with her dark magic, in order not to think about all her trauma. But the problem is, the more trauma you have, the easier it is to push you over the edge when you don't actually try to heal yourself. And she never did. So you become closed off, and it's very difficult for people to approach you, and it's very difficult for you personally to let someone in because of that fear and that reluctancy of you wanting to let someone in. It's very difficult for you to accept someone in your life, and a lot of people are like, perhaps that person is doing it on purpose, or maybe that person is too difficult. No, it's trauma, and it's very difficult for you to actually let someone in. It's not that you don't want to. You want to let someone in because no one wants to be alone. But you're scared that you could get hurt again because the tolerance to pain has already reached its peak. And you never really got the chance to heal from that pain that those toxic people left in your life. So that's what's happening with Eva. She never had the chance to truly process everything, and that's why every single small negativity in her life immediately brought her over the edge. We remember, and I keep on repeating it, that scene was hot between Eamon and Eva, but it brought her back to some of the most horrible moments of her life, because she's still traumatized by that, because she still never found the strength in herself to heal from that. So one moment in the present immediately made her relive one of the most horrible moments of her past. And that's when she broke down and started crying in bed, because she's still traumatized by that. And her actually allowing herself to feel love for someone else, and I mean love where you feel that someone is family, which we could see that she never really had much family besides Eastman. That's a huge ass step for her. The only one she saw as family was Eastman. Even Dia, someone that truly deserved to live. I don't know if I hate the creator of the story for making her die or not, but Dia did not deserve to die. And the bitch that actually deserved to die is still out there out and proud. I feel so much rage. But her actually saying, your family, it's a huge ass step. Because you don't call anyone family. It's very difficult for you to call someone family, especially if you've been very psychologically abused. It's very difficult for you to accept love. And her actually saying, I had him as a friend, he was family, but I have a new family. That's a huge step for her. I trust you as much as I trusted him. Maybe that's why I have managed to hold on, because I know that I'm not really alone. The shock, because it's not usual for her to be like this. Do you really mean it? Yes. Are you surprised? Yes, because it's not usual for you. Like, we love Eva. I, out of all people, love her. But it's true, she's very cold, as in, she has a cold facade, but a very soft and pure core. And that's what makes me love her, because only someone pure that has been traumatized and has seen so much negativity is capable to give out that much negativity, or more like is capable to show that much coldness from the outside because of all that pain you had to absorb. And what does that lead back to? To inner strength. I find that so attractive, y'all. Someone that has been capable to go to the ends of the earth, like actually arriving at the bottom of things and being capable to like get out of it, and then being capable to like hold your head up high and being proud of who you are and what you've been through and what that turned you into. It's so attractive, y'all. And I'm so proud of her. Like, it's normal that people would be surprised if she would say something like this, because she has that cold facade, but everyone knows she has a pure core. This is just like a momentary shock for Livius, because he's not used to the side of her. She's more like provoking him, teasing him, but like actually being genuine and everything. This is like more a side that she showed with Eastman. Yes, are you surprised? I just didn't expect to hear this. Did I say something silly? Or do you feel differently? You don't consider me your friend? That says so much pain! Livius shook his head, interrupting Eva. There aren't many people I would call true friends. I've many acquaintances, but few of them are really close to me. Before you, I could only be honest with hers. You seem to me like a very secretive person, someone whose trust is very difficult to earn. Because of the trauma. That's probably right, and yet you did. I wasn't even trying, it just happened. Perhaps that's how true friendship begins? By accident? Livius smiled, sincerely, openly. Eva's words were especially valuable because she was the first to talk about it. She wasn't afraid to be honest with him or sound foolish, as friends should. Thank you for telling me all of this. I also consider you a close friend. You're like the sister I never had. See, family, what did I say? Oh, see. Without another word, Eva threw her arms around him. It was something she'd never expected to hear from anyone other than Eastman. I was beginning to think the gods had forsaken me. How can you think that when you have such a treasure as myself? I love them! If something happens to him, I'm gonna cancel this story. And you must have done something wrong, and the gods sent me as a punishment. Damn! That's not true. Livius really appreciates your words. You've become close friends. Your relationship has improved significantly. I love this. We have a brother, y'all. Oh, God. Livius hugged her back. The feeling of loneliness that he sometimes carried within himself relaxed its grip. Like Eva, he felt his heart growing warmer. You can share anything with me. I'll be on your side no matter what. Y'all, I'm growing. I'm gonna shed some tears. I know why this escape was so hard for you. You're running, but you really wanted to stay. But we can talk about that later. Eva froze. She was beginning to understand what her friend was getting at. He's hinting at Aemon? It must be obvious that I'm completely smitten with him. My mistake. But Livius never asked me directly. He gives me time so that I can make up my mind and tell him when I'm ready. Alright, enough talking. Let's hurry. Right. Livius walked away, leaving Eva alone. She looked around and the particular smell of a rotting body caught her attention again. Wow. Y'all, those rooms make me actually creeped out. Those rooms creep me the F out. Like, I could never... To be quite honest, I always wanted to go to Egypt. And I wanted to go into a pyramid. But one of the... y'all, I would feel creeped out the second I would, like, see... traditional mummification. Because it's tradition in Egypt. Like, the rich... actually are being mummified and they're being placed in pyramids so that their bodies would remain the same somehow. And that's kind of like their way of persuasion. Like they preserve the bodies, and it's like they have never died in the first place. Like, I have no idea how they do it, but it's like they would have never died. Like, they don't decay. Like, they remain the same with bones and everything, with bone, skin. And it's actually fascinating on one side, but on the other side, I would feel creeped out, y'all. I feel so sorry. I don't mean to offend anyone. Like, in general, like, death is something that actually freaks me out because I'm scared to die. Like, death is one of my fears. And, like, walking in a room where I know that only death lies, it makes me feel so out of place. I feel so uncomfortable, especially like even on graveyards, y'all. I feel so creeped out, especially, I don't know if you all have ever been on a graveyard before, but stepping onto a graveyard is like stepping into a room where it's pitch silent. Nothing is being said there. Nothing. It's pitch silent. You feel so strange. Because the second you move outside of the graveyard, there's noise again, like, I don't know, dogs barking, like birds chirping. And then you walk into the graveyard that is only like 2 centimeters away from the open street, and it's pitch silent. It's scary. The simplest and cheapest oils were used for those whose embalming was free. They couldn't cover up the smell of death and slowed down the decomposition process much worse than those used for wealthy people. Yeah, it was embalming in name only, but even that was more than ordinary people could dream of. Eva pressed her lips together, looking at the end of the corridor where she could see the hall. Y'all, I'm scared if we like actually see him decomposed or something. No. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Meanwhile, in the settlement, oh god, let's go. Shock me. What is the epistates dreaming about? The epistates towered above her in the morning sun. Agnia's gaze fixed on his white shoulders, but her mind was far away. Uh-oh. I wanted. The epistates had been in the worst of moods since he'd opened his eyes. Y'all, prepare the burial. There was a crumbled papyrus on the floor. Y'all, I think this is the end of this episode. Goodbye. Oh god. I feel so nervous. Okay. Agnia immediately realized what was going on as soon as she saw his eyes full of rage and bitter disappointment. Uh-oh. Titian was standing next to him and no other hunters were present.
Those on the outskirts. I'm sure of it, but we won't send anyone there.
They ran away, they went to the capital. The healer is not home, and some of his things are missing too.
No, Eva's a Sheshmu, and if she has a chance to get in touch with her dead friend's soul, she'll do it. But why Livius of Bela escaped with her is a mystery.
Oh, he knows, oh god. That's exactly why we had to run. I actually was hoping this was not gonna be the case, but oh well. It seems that his duty still is much more important to him, but if you guys ask me, he will hesitate when he comes face to face with us, if you ask me. He will hesitate because of the love he has for us, but I think at the end of the day, it won't really matter because of the grudge he holds for Sheshmu in general, which, like I said, hypocritical, but what can we do? It's like his past trauma.
He's not so foolish as to risk his head for her whims, is he?
Eamon narrowed his eyes.
No, he's not. There must be a reason for that.
Eamon, Agnia loved me.
Her mentor and all their dark magician are looking to kill her. There are hunters on her tail, but she went to the body anyway, and the healer allowed her to do it. Quite a couple, huh?
Oh! Tell him. Let's see what he says. What did I say? What, you don't like it? Don't you want me dead? Don't you want me dead? What you grimacing for? Oh, her face. Eamon turned sharply and she stopped laughing. He didn't like it when someone spoke despairingly about Eva. Son, don't you want me back to kill me? To burn me at the stake? Why are you upset? What are you upset about? Technically, it's true. Like I said it a few scenes ago. The letter she'd left softened the epistate's anger at his beloved's escape, and yet nothing good awaited her. Like, y'all, I can't. Like, the letter we wrote with our heart in pain and us in tears. It softened his anger, but it didn't change her fate. He's still looking for her to kill her. Oh, I could have saved the gems. I could have saved the gems. Y'all, I'm so sorry. Like, this entire situation is just ridiculous to me. Like, is this man actually seeing? But it would make sense. I did say it's like his duty clashing against the feelings he has for us. So it's very difficult for him to actually prioritize. He doesn't know which thing to prioritize. His duties and the rage, or more like the resentment he carries for Sheshmu because of what happened to his parents, or the love he has for us. And you see it in his attitude right now. We just read the narration. The letter softened his anger, but it didn't change the fate that awaited her. His duty, it didn't change the fate that awaited her. And it softened his anger because of the love he has for us. And now here as well. He don't like it when someone is implying that she has something with another man. He don't like it because of the love he has for her, yet he wants her dead. Are we seeing it? Are we seeing the conflicting emotions? He might have been angry at her, but it still annoyed Eamon if someone dared to laugh at her in his presence. This man, he mad at her? He mad at her for escape or for finding out she's a Sheshmu?
It would have been safer for her to stay here. Rema wouldn't have come here. The execution scared her stiff.
That. Eva was afraid. Like, they want her dead. They want to execute her after finding out she's a Sheshmu. Why the fuck would I stay? Are you dumb?
The execution scared her stiff. Eva was afraid that she would be next. She didn't know you needed her alive.
She had many reasons to run, not just her mental. She was afraid of us too. But most of all, she wanted to get to her friend's body to find out who killed him.
Was he killed? He drowned himself.
Again!
She's been arguing the opposite from the very beginning. Looking at what's happening, I'm starting to believe it myself.
Then it's obvious that Eva foolishly attempted to outwit us. Was afraid to tell the truth.
She was afraid to tell the truth.
After the execution, trust was out of the question. She was sure she would be next.
Yes?
She didn't even know that we didn't need her. But the two elders. Therefore, she decided that running away was her only choice.
Honesty.
I'm telling you that you should work with her. The elder will keep pursuing her, so she would be useful to us.
Talking about her strictly in terms of work seemed strange, wrong. A Sheshmu, a hunter. It was so much more complicated than that. She had escaped, disappeared, while Eamon was sleeping and struggling with his nightmare. Agnia and Titian were discussing how and where to catch her, but Eamon could only think about Eva. A hole had opened up in his chest the moment he woke up from his agonizing dream, and Eva wasn't there. She wasn't in the settlement either, neither her nor her things. Nothing. Horror, rage, despair. Move, run, find her. He had to find her immediately. The desire to want her close because he's head over heels is just so cute. He didn't even know what made him worry more. Anger at Eva's escape or fear for her life because Remao was still somewhere out there. This man! Eamon remembered how he was overcome by weakness and drowsiness, and how Eva carefully laid him on the bed. Her small, gentle hands on his body, her affectionate gaze, and her special scent which Eamon loved. He doubted that his dream was Eva's doing. He hadn't eaten or drank anything she could have poisoned. On the other hand, she wasn't a simple Sheshmu. Like his parents' murderer, she had a warm soul. Before meeting her, Eamon didn't even know that there was another such Sheshmu. Maybe they could do something else that the epistates wasn't aware of? No one notices Eamon bowed his head slightly and rubbed his eyes roughly. He is... Oh no! Y'all, let me tell you something. Because I know why he's doing the way he's doing. When you have seen so much negative things and you need to be strong at all times, it turns into like a second phase, if it makes sense. And there are a lot of people when they have too much pride inside of themselves and their sensitive side has moved more to the back of their character, then rage, or more like pride, takes the upper hand. But it's not like their pure heart disappeared. It's just that pride overpowers their sensitive heart. And when you do what Eamon is doing right now, this is you trying to rub away the tears before they come. Because you're worried, you love that person, and your heart is beating for that person. Like they have reached your heart, you can't shake them off now. And knowing that they're not there, or maybe even just a thought knowing that the person you love is scared of you. And that's why they ran away, because they didn't have enough trust in you for you not to execute them. It makes you feel so alone, it makes you feel so sad, so desperate that you want to cry. But the pride is stronger, so you like rub over your eyes in order like to stop yourself from crying. I used to do that.
What am I doing? Just yesterday I was thinking of her in a completely different way. I imagined her standing next to me and smiling at me. And now here I am, wondering what else she could do that I should be wary of.
Amen. Amen. He hated himself for those doubts, which coiled in his head like snakes and wrapped themselves tightly around his stomach, robbing him of his will. Now that's love, bitch. Everything suggested that she was an enemy, a liar, and a hypocrite, like all the other shishmu. Son, you're a hypocrite yourself. Like I said, I said it in the beginning, that Aemon's route was gonna be the most dramatic one, the most dangerous one, the most painful one. I said it in the beginning, alright? And there are a lot of conflicting emotions in general when you are playing Aemon's route. This man right now, like I said, it's conflicting emotions because of his duty and the love he has for her. But right now, the more he thinks about Eva, the more he's neglecting his sense of duty and the more he's starting to worry about her. Like the rage is no longer part of his personality traits right now. Like his heart took over and he's worried about her. He's worried. He's scared that Remao could like get her hands on her and he won't be around in order to prevent her from pain. He doesn't want her to be with anyone else, and knowing that she's with Livius and they had their jealous moment, they were barking at each other a few episodes ago, that's not sitting well with him as well because of the jealousy that he feels. That's love, that's real love. And he's like, oh, she should be an enemy. Like, I should hate her, but you don't. As if to prove that she had run away while Aemon was sleeping. But there was no cruelty or greed in her, something which Aemon had grown used to seeing in dark magicians. She had run away because she was afraid. She could have gone straight to the capital, where the healer had probably promised to find shelter for her, but she went to the outskirts, risking her life. To find out who killed her friend, everyone kept telling her she was foolish, but Eva persisted in her opinion, and eventually did what she thought was right. Was there anything treacherous or vile about that? And he feels the desire to protect her even in his thoughts. He don't want to protect her just in front of everyone, like someone talking bad about Eva in front of him. He's like, not in my kitchen. He's like, don't you dare say something about her, because I love her. And he can't even stay mad at her in his own thoughts. He keeps on finding some kind of way to cover for her. As in, he's trying everything in his power, using every single logical explanation, if it's logical or not, in order to preserve a positive image of Eva in his mind. That's what you do when you're in love. You don't want to believe that they could do anything harm to you. You don't want to believe that they could actually harm you or hurt you. And that's what he's doing. He's trying to keep a positive mind when it comes to Eva. Maybe Eamon wanted to think worse of her than she actually was. Then it would have been much easier for him to banish the feelings that he had for the young Sheshmu.
I'll have no rest until I find her. It's pointless to come up with excuses for myself. I'm vulnerable to her, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Period. And you tell yourself that. Continue on telling yourself that. This man, but the way he's saying it, it's not sounding like he wants to kill her. It's sounding like he just wants to see that she's alright. Like, hug her, look at her face, knowing that she has no physical nor psychological damage, and then he will be complete. This man, head over heels. He's like, what can I do? I'm in love with that bitch. What can I do? There's nothing I can do for the feelings that are inside of me now. I fell in love with her. I can't do anything about that. I need to know now that she's safe and sound. Or else there is nothing that will keep me from losing my mind. But there was nothing he could do.
Eva truly should have gone straight to the capital or any other place, because I always take what's mine.
His possessive side now coming out. No more Sheshmu. He don't care now anymore.
I won't let her get away with this.
Eamon intends to find you. He's like, this bitch is mine. Where does she think she's going? She mine. When did I allow her to leave? She's mine. I actually already claimed ownership. I don't remember y'all, like, please don't hate on me for this thought, but did we actually ever sleep with Eamon? I don't remember. I think back then that was like a dream from Eamon or like some sexy imagination from him. Eamon chuckled thoughtfully. He would have liked to remove Eva from the chain of events that would eventually lead them to the capture of the elder dark magician, but that foolish woman seemed desperate to get involved. She didn't leave them any option.
We know where she is now, and where they will go to get her. It's time for the hunt to begin.
This man. The outskirts of Thebes. Eva walked into the hall, clutching the obsidian plate to her chest. She recalled all of Remau's necromancy lessons, as well as her recent commission with Ramesses. How was he doing? Me! Had Remau, his older brother, contacted him? I hope he's doing well and he's far away from here. I don't know if life will bring us together again, but if he's safer away from me, then I hope not. Maybe he'll give up his craft and return to a quiet life somewhere in a small town away from Thebes. Or maybe he'll practice dark magic where it is welcomed. Finally, Eva stepped into the embalming hall. Oh, God. Oh, God. A body lay on the table in the sparsely furnished room. Bottles of cloudy liquids were scattered around it carelessly, and hastily washed tools lay in this area. Oh, God. There he was. It was difficult for Eva to call the dead body by his name, since that was only a shell of who Eastman was. The real Eastman was somewhere in the past, smiling and cheerful. He remained alive only in Eva's memories. It wasn't Eastman laying on the dirty, cold table, bathed in the pre-dawn gloom, rotting and bound in cheap oiled cloth. Anyone but Eastman. Silently looking at the body, Eva tried to pull herself together. She was afraid to approach it and potentially recognize a familiar feature. I feel her nervousness like it's my own, y'all. Same. Then the image of her friend she held dear in her memory would be erased, replaced by that.
You took your sweet time getting here.
Huh? Eva jumped and recoiled. If I have the chance to kill you, I will.
You're so brave. Maybe I'm more convinced of that.
She smiled wearily, trying to hide the horror that had almost paralyzed her. I'm here alone with a corpse. We weren't expecting a third guest. You take pleasure in frightening me, don't you?
Do you really think so?
It's becoming quite obvious. Seth nodded at an opening in the wall through which they could already see the sand hills towering against the sky, relentlessly turning pink.
It's done. You're not done here yet. How are you going to make it?
I'll start right now.
Dante has already woken up and he'll be looking for you because he needs you.
Needs me? To execute me?
Oh no, if that were the case, you would have sung your Sheshma's last song a long time ago. Just hurry up, would you? Do you remember what I said? You shouldn't die before your time.
Is that all you care about? Did I fulfill your wish?
What else should I care about? They're trying to tell me something.
Oh, son, you're so damn stupid. Is this man actually a rude? This man. Keep on, at this point, said keep on denying your feelings for me. Keep on denying the feelings you have for me. I'm your servant, your follower, a Sheshmu. Don't you care what happens to us, if we live or die? If we work and praise your name or hide cowardly in the corners? The sly grin slowly disappeared from Seth's long face. His rubby eyes narrowed slightly as he listened to Eva with particular attention. He didn't interrupt, letting her speak her mind.
Is my little merchant said worried that I don't care about her?
Yes, I am. I feel like I'm nothing but a thing, an object.
You're not a thing, but you belong to me.
Is there really any difference? That.
There's a big difference. People treat a thing as they want and not throw it away. You're a person, but I'm in charge of your destiny. As promised, I'm a fair master. I stay close, I take care of you, yet you complain. I won't throw you away. I'll treat you with care. You're only obedient because you're afraid of me.
Now that's the question. Am I afraid of you or not? Not afraid of you. Eva said that out loud, not only for Seth to hear, but also for herself, because that was the truth. Her fear had disappeared, replaced by some new complex feeling. After Eva had remembered the night from her childhood, remembered who had helped her then, who had dealt with her mother's man, and thanks to whom she'd managed to run away from home, her fear and trembling before Seth disappeared, replaced by respect. Respect and gratitude for his help, even though it hadn't been free. He had saved her only because she needed to pay her debt, and Eva shouldn't die before her time, but none of that mattered. I'm not afraid anymore.
Really?
He took a few steps toward her, catching every change on Eva's face with a sharp gaze. This man actually wants confirmation. Seth is kind of like the god of death, like hatred. So it would be normal for people to fear him, so that's all he's used to, and when someone is like, I'm not afraid of you, he don't believe it. So he wants like some kind of confirmation. That's why he keeps on moving closer, because your normal reaction when you're scared of someone, the second they move close to you, you run away. That's a normal reaction. He took a few steps toward her, catching every change on Eva's face with his sharp gaze. She didn't step back or tense up, continuing to stand straight. Inside, she felt anxious and even a little uncomfortable, but Eva didn't betray those feelings and remained calm. Seth smiled as he came close to her. He tilted his head, watching Eva but not touching her. Prominent canes, pointed ears, dark red tousled hair. Eva stared greedily at him, Prominent cannons, pointed ears, dark red tousled hair. Eva stared greedily at him, noting every detail of his appearance. Seth's broad shoulders accentuated his strong muscles, which looked flawless in the bright fabric of his clothes and gold jewelry. There was a belt with some decorations and symbols below his toned stomach. Light cotton trousers covered his long legs. Seth was perfectly built, exactly as depicted in ancient drawings. He was at least a head taller than any average Egyptian man. Not to mention his smooth skin and red hair, as well as his carefree and playful disposition, which could change to ferocity, unpredictability like a hurricane. He was right about one thing. Seth was a fair master, and despite his threats, none of which he had yet made reality, Eva felt perfectly safe with him. Seth, noticing how shamelessly she was staring at him.
Yo, oh my god.
Kiss me. Kiss me like you wanna be loved. Y'all, I'm gonna have this picture as my wallpaper. His hand rose confidently to her face, pressing gently on her chin and lifting it up. So that Seth could look into Eva's big and amusingly surprised eyes.
You're that fearless.
What?
So fearless that you're standing here quietly studying me. Do you like what you see?
Are we seeing the picture? Yes, I am. Stupid me, I forgot myself. Oh well. Happens, master. Seth wouldn't let her turn her away. He stepped closer, asking in half whisper.
Well, you said you weren't afraid. I have to check.
You don't need to. I forgot myself. It was an accident. Now, let's not say something we don't mean, Eva. We wanted to.
No, it was no accident. You feel that you belong to me, and that attraction gets the better of you ever 'tis. Madam Seth.
His fingers tightened slightly on her chin, and Seth moved closer to her. I don't know what to do. Oh, God. He whispered softly into them, his breath warm against her face.
You didn't forget yourself. You were admiring me. Am I right? Answer me.
Unable to escape or resist his intoxicating scent, his low charming voice, and the touch of his hands that sent goosebumps rippling through her body, Eva answered in a whisper, "You're right." Y'all, I love that my character hasn't changed. Like, she's still completely me.
Do you like me, my fearless Shashmu?
Instead of answering, Eva just gave a weak nod. It was more than she could bear. Seth grinned contentedly and then leaned forward just a little more. His lips almost touched Eva's mouth and the tip of her nose brushed. And he took a deep breath and said, "Yeah!" Y'all, I'm about to pass out.
I knew that.
He pulled away, giving back to Eva her space and freedom. He's fed how expertly he torments me. Curse me for these thoughts and feelings. Now is not the time. Remember where you are, you fool. If they catch you and hang you in the square, they'll serve you right there. He won't let you die.
Don't feel guilty. You have no control over it anyway.
This man said us intrigued. He really enjoyed making you feel flustered. This bitch. This man is definitely feeling something. Don't lie to me. Y'all, now I'm... Y'all, okay. Now, just to, put this out here. Livius is our brother. He family. If someone touches him, he dies. But... he family, so no more love interest, no nothing. This is now clear as days. Now I'm playing Eamon and Seth. Y'all at this point, if I'm being hanged, it's my mistake. My fault. Seth made a dismissing motion.
Well, enough of this chatter. I've been here too long.
Before leaving, Seth warned her.
Think about covering tracks. I have no trouble finding you, which means that others can do it too. For instance, you Mento, the worst, the hunters. Although you don't really have time, it's your decision to make.
Seth wasn't going to help, as usual. As soon as he finished speaking, he turned around and disappeared into the corridor. At least he warned me about Eamon. Isfet, time is running out. Ask Livius to cover your tracks. Ask Livius cover your tracks? It will only take a minute if I ask him to cover our tracks a little, but we'll gain extra time because it will be harder to find us in theory. Even if the epistates goes to the healers first and finds out which Ibu he needs, it's still going to take a while. Without another thought, Eva hurriedly left the room. Hearing footsteps behind him, Livius, who was sitting near the building, turned around in surprise.
Are you done already?
Have you seen Seth here?
Seth, your interesting friend.
Eva waved it off, realizing that her patron had disappeared somewhere nearby, but he had left through another exit. It doesn't matter. While I'm busy, can you cover our tracks? Livius raised his eyebrows in disbelief.
Are you serious? How about we do this fast and just get out of here?
Just do it, Livius! That's so cruel! But, just do it, Livius. I feel like I'm cruel by saying this. Eva repeated instantly, raising her voice. Let's not rely on luck, since it's clearly not on our side. The hunters aren't the only threat, remember? Orion raised his ears when he saw how nervous Eva was. See? I still need a few more minutes, but you can spend that time.
discovering our tracks. I got that. It's a little too late for that, and that will hardly help us, but...
You dealt with the tracks and didn't waste too much time. Without hearing the end of his sentence, Eva nodded her thanks and disappeared inside again. She quickly put on a cloak. Here comes the tough part, putting aside my emotions and getting in touch with his soul. The mummification isn't finished yet, so it can be very difficult or almost impossible. Ramesses did mention it once. But I'm here and there's no turning back. I'll do what I can. She took a deep breath, ignoring the stench, and tried to focus completely on the silence, on her heartbeat, on Eastman. To put all her emotions aside in order to become a vessel for his feelings, to summon the soul of her drowned friend. It's the final countdown! Okay, fine. Y'all, this episode was a banger already, and I'm so scared to find out what happened to our friend. But let's go. I love this episode back, and y'all, what can I do? Like, it's a shameless and arrogant man for me, but we all know that. But we will see. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.